had more of the bag done than I actually did. But I think I've mostly got it sorted. I've got a Tory pocket, so that's always important. I have not yet got my hardware, but I can sit and do that while I wait for people to come. We are doing gunmetal. Ow, that was my knee. I need adjustable straps. 2 of those. I'm doing a backpack, so we basically just need to double everything up. 2 of those, 2 of those. 4 zippers, I believe. And I think that's it. Hello! I'm very, very unorganized, but I'm back in my sewing room. I think it's just zippers. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So this is a custom order. I think I've got most of the stuff. I haven't picked a thread yet. I am leaning towards purple because I've got a lot of purple going on here. We're doing a Jack Skellington theme. Hello! What backpack are we making? So this is the Denver by Swoon. I like this backpack. It is one of my favorite ones to make, actually. It's got embroidery. So I did a little embroidery on the side, and this is color changing. So in the UV sunshine, the Jack Skellington will go purple because, you know, I can't do anything normal. I'm not even mad at myself. I feel like it's just the usual standard to be excessive. But this week, for the rest of the week, I'm doing all things custom order. And this is a custom order. So I've got to do this. I've got to do a Trailblazer by Bagstock with bats. I've had some thoughts on that. I got an order from the market I did. So I need to do that. All the things, really. So, zipper tape, I actually think I want to be excessive and go stripies, because why not, really? Spin this. I'm not very organized. I should have absolutely given myself more time than I did, but such is life. I also don't have my laptop here, so if I miss one of your comments, I apologize. But it's pretty. Zipper tape, that. I'm gonna put these on the floor because I just feel like they're gonna be in my way. I got my child to help me bring all of my vinyls in yesterday. Looking at it now, he got to the end and just shoved them all, but it's fine. They're mostly sorted into like solids versus prints so that I can plan my life in the future a little bit better. So these are my straps. I'm going to start with straps because I always like to start with straps. I am on a 4 stitch length, which for this is too far. So I'm just going to go back to 2.5 and we're going to sew the straps. I am going to deal with the echo in here as well. I'm going to get myself a floor rug. I went to Kmart, but I didn't like any of them. But I can't live with the echoing. So I will fix that when I find the right rug. So this is just double folded. And I ironed it. I only just ironed it right before I went live. I also realised I forgot to grab a chair and power, so that's why I was cutting it very fine today. But it should be alright. And I've tucked one end to make like a non-raw end. You could also instead put a strap, like strap end there. Personally, I think that would be a waste, but you could. If you've done all vinyl, you also don't need to even worry about the end. I also made this strap the full length, but I'm going to cut it down. But that is one done. Let's do the other one. So they gave me free reign on the custom order to pretty much do any backpack I want, and this is my favorite. So that's why we've picked it. I've probably missed stuff to cut out because, again, I was trying to rush to do this as a video. Did not fully think that through, but whatever. It'll be fine. You can clip this if you want to, but because I ironed it, it should pretty much stay where it's held. And because it's a bigger backpack, you really want to do at least 1 to 1 1/4 inch straps, except I don't have 1 1/4 inch hardware. I've also done a little bit of a different setup in this room to last time. My green machine is not behind me, it's actually over on the wall where the Cricut machine used to be. Because the Cricut machine is going to stay inside near the laptop, because I thought that made a lot of sense. Speeding is so much fun. Gotta speed somewhere. I don't speed in a car. Somewhere I get to be a speed demon. Alright, so then we need to measure this down because it is in fact too large. And then the leftover is going to be for the rectangle ring. See how that worked out? I like it. Measure them together. And then that is the leftover. Ta-da! Straps, check. These are going to be the strap connectors, and I'm thinking that I forgot to cut the back out, but we'll deal with that in a minute as well. So I'm not doing zipper ends because I don't like it on this bag. Personal preference and all that jazz. Feel free to do the zipper ends like the pattern has, but I don't like them. And the best way I have found to do this is to pin the zipper to this. It's going to look so good with stripies. So good. And around. So I've been mentally planning out all the bags I want to make for the next market. I'm really excited to do kangaroos. I don't really know why. I just like that pattern. I mean, it is the handbag I'm currently carrying. Alright, so that's that one. We could probably grab the other one and do it as well so that we can chain sew, because we all know I love a good chain sew. So we put zipper right sides together. See, the stripes are just going to make it, alright? It's all these little extra things. And you can see I also use a lot of clips for this, because that is quite the curve. Let's use proper zipper scissors to cut this, like so. Alright, perfect. And then I need these pieces. So this is, and I'm actually going to twist all of my clips. When I first made this backpack, I used to think it was so difficult. Now I'm all over it. If I get time, I actually might make a whole bunch of them the small size for like kids' backpacks, and then use up all of that fabric that I've got sitting there, because I do have a lot of fabric sitting there. That is a Tory pocket, so then we'll grab this one and put it right sides together. And you should always do, especially on curves, do both ends, and then the rest should all just fit in. This can be made on a domestic. I used to do it on the green machine all the time. And I like to put foam on the back piece. It just gives it a little bit more stability. So, stitch, back stitch. 1/4 inch seam allowance because it's a zipper. Nice and slow. I thought that sounded weird. It was weird. It just missed like a dozen stitches. That was weird. No idea why though. No idea how it did it. Magic trick, I reckon. So we're just gonna stitch it a second time because that was ridiculous. Second time's easier, there's no clips. Okay, that's better. And then we're going to pull both of those back and top stitch. Now I'm going to leave the top stitch the same. So the main point is, and if you want to, you can baste it along here to make sure it stays. We love a good basting, do we not? That might seem weird to do, but I reckon it's going to help in the long run. So, 1/8 of an inch, pull, so I'm pulling the zipper away from the lining to get it nice and flat and fabulous. And I'm going slowly to make sure it's all working out and to get a nice curve. And then, because I love to just baste everything ever, we're going to do this edge too. Right, so now it will hold together while we're trying to add it in. Ta-da! I also need to cut the jump stitches off the embroidery to make it even more fabulous. Not all embroideries do jump stitches. Sometimes they actually like cut it off. Love it. And as for this, I didn't really so much center this as I just kind of put it where I felt. I didn't measure it to the center. It was like a gut feeling of where to put it. Because this is a weird shape and really hard to find the actual center of things. Alright. Clip's done. Shove it off. Lift up the needle. And then we're going to flip it over. I'm going to start here this time, because why not? Just baste the edges together. It'll help later with the green. Alright, and stitch around. Perfect. See? Beautiful. So it should have a bit of a curve to the zipper. Always a fun one. And then we're going to grab the second lot. So you would have had to cut 4 of these. So then this one, again, we'll line up the top edge and the bottom edge. There. And there. And then just kind of clip around the zipper. Lots of clips. This is, you know, a big curve. And I don't want it to move. So the more clips, the better. Oh, itchy nose. And then we're going to grab our outside. So this is what I went for the outside of the bag. Because amazing. And then this will go in there like that. So then we're going to do the same thing. So we're going to start at the top and clip it. You might want to do 2 clips. And then we're going to go to the bottom and clip it. And then everything else will just fit in between. Is how this tends to go, like that. And then you can kind of see it'll sit pretty well. But we want to go along and clip it together because it'll be much easier to sew. Join it all together. Alright, and then 1/4 inch seam to the zipper, stitch, back stitch. The other thing about doing it this way without the zipper tabs is you can put the zipper on at the end so you don't have to think about it. And I'm just squashing this down. Beautiful. Okay. And then from the bottom of the bag, we're going to put the zipper on. Like so. Oops. Missed. Missed by like 2 teeth. Missed again. Go. Nope, missed again. Of course you're going to be stubborn today. There we go. Put it kind of in the middle. You can add little like tassels or something to these zips as well if you wanted. And then I'm going to do it from the back. And we're just going to baste the whole pocket shut. Why? So that everything sits nicely and it'll be easier to attach later. Like so. So that is now one exterior panel done. It looks amazing. I know it looks like it's buckling a little bit, but it's meant to sit out. So it will sit fine once the bag's finished. Let's do the other side. Where is my other side? Here you are. So there's that one. This one's got the cool thing on it because I'm childish and I wanted to. Clip at the bottom, clip at the top, and then work my way down and around. Do, 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 do. Okay, there we go. And then same with this. Top together. I always find one of these easier than the other way. I don't know why. It is the same curve, but because it's kind of also opposite, I don't know. I always just find one easier than the other. Although I must admit, this is much easier than the last time I made it. I can feel that my bag skills that I've learned have made this easier because I haven't made this for many years. Like, oh, how many years would it be? Be at least 5. I haven't made this in 5 years at least. Even mini versions. As if that's not totally cool. Where I got the rivet studs. The rivet ones, I found them on AliExpress. I literally typed in rivet studs. That was the wording. You get a lot of weird stuff around it. You just got to scroll through multiple pages. You can also try rivet stud bag hardware. Sometimes that helps, sometimes it doesn't. I love those studs though. So that bag has already sold. That sold at my market. It was quite quick to go. I'm going to, my new rule of thumb is I'd like 6 of each style of bag that I'm going to take to the next one. I've got 2 months. And I'm going to not just do this theme. I'm going to have some like normal ones as well for people that come with their family in case people like normal stuff or want to get a present. I can appreciate that. And because I'd like to use up all my fabric. I have so much fabric. Okay, so that is now basted in place. Love it. I wonder if there's a way where I can pull up all of the messages. I don't think so. That's annoying. I'd really like to just permanently be able to see all of them. All messages are visible. That might help. What brand is my embroidery machine? It is a Brother Innovus 6700D. It is actually quite old now. I've had it for quite a while. Not that that matters. It is still fabulous. But once it dies, I probably won't be able to afford to replace it, which would suck. But we're just not thinking about that yet. I keep getting it fixed. The guy that repairs it, he's like, oh, this is old. I'm like, it's fine. I don't need it to do much. I just need it to put pretty things on bags. I don't use it every single day of my life, so it's fine. And these days you can get DTFs to iron onto bags. So that will be, oops. That will be my solution when it dies. But until then, I do plan on doing quite a lot of embroidery. Because it's so hard for me to find the type of printed vinyls that I want for this market, I am instead going to just do plain vinyls and embroider all the pretty stuff. I have thought this through. It's going to be wonderful. All right. So we want the one that mirrors this so it looks the same when right sides are together. I also am trying to keep with the theme of having the lining face down so that the feed dogs pull it through evenly. This machine does not super love thin fabrics, and so my solution is to always put the thinnest side on the feed dog side. The other solution that I could very well do but not live is sew all the linings on the green machine and then join the bag here. That would probably ultimately be quicker if I'm not recording. It doesn't hate it. It's just this machine is designed to do thick, heavy layers, and it does not love skinny ones. So then we're going to tuck that under, and I'm going to top stitch just the exterior. It will both look pretty and be amazing. And I'm just going to tuck it under as I go. You can also iron this if you stress out about stuff like that. Iron it. Should be right. Now the last thing I need to decide is, am I putting my Tory pocket on the inside or the outside? I haven't quite decided. How good does that look though? I love that so much. So much. Alright, other exterior. Join them together. I'm not on your green machine. I am not on my green machine. The green machine's over there covered in things that I dumped in here because I was trying to just get everything out of the house. It's a bit much over there. And I also am trying to just focus on the custom orders because I have like 4 or 5 and I would like to get them done. I also have to cut out some blanks for book nooks on my laser machine for my mate who also did the market, and she made, oh, I put all the clips wrong. She makes like really cool, like a skull with some cool stuff in like domes, and she's going to make some very cool creepy book nooks. So I'm going to cut them on my laser as like blanks, and then she's going to make and decorate them. I went and bought all the stuff for it yesterday, but then life got in the way and I had other things to do. Alright, stitch, back stitch, we always back stitch. Oh yeah. And fold it down. If you have a smaller machine, you take this and you roll it up like so it'll fit inside your machine. It'll almost also make it easier to tuck under that little bit there. And again, I'm not doing zipper tabs. You can't make me. You can do them. I'm pretty sure the pattern comes with them, but they're just not for me. I'm not feeling them on this bag. I never have. I did them once and I didn't love how it looked. Now, that could have been my sewing, but I don't know, wasn't here for it. So I'm not doing it. Such is life. As the designer of bags, you have the right to eliminate or add anything you like. 1/2, 2 halves. Now the zipper closes towards the top. It'd be really cool is if this zipper would cooperate. So this stripy zip is a bit of a terror. I am usually way better at this. Oh, it's way out. I don't think I've ever had so much trouble. Stop it. There we go. Right, so I have stitched the top so the zipper won't come undone. What pattern are you doing? So this is the Denver backpack by Swoon in the large size. The mini size is really good for kids. I used to sell them for like $50 for kids, and they were very popular, which is what's making me think I should go and make some more with all of the license prints that I have sitting there. I have a lot of license prints. Okay, so now we are going to stitch the front of the bag together. This is a 1/2 inch seam allowance. I remember that. There's one. So that's the exterior. And there's a gap here. It's meant to be like that because we put a little thing with some rivets over the top. So don't stress about that either. Stitch, back stitch. See again, with the it's too thick for this, too thin for this machine. It's why I kind of tug on it from the back. Make sure that my stitches don't gather up because it is such a light fabric. It's also why I put interfacing on. I could also possibly help combat that with a thinner needle. Might work, might not too. I think I am going to put the Tory pocket on the inside, just because I'm feeling it. And we're like over halfway through this bag now. We've done the handles. We've made the whole exterior, except for I don't have an exterior piece cut out, so we're going to have to get onto that. I'm thinking just black. Black is always a safe way to go. I'm going to clip the center top and center bottom because we're going to need that. It's always safer to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. And sometimes it's really tricky to put in. Like once you put a zipper in, it's so much harder to find the center. It doesn't bend as well. I don't want it too far up. There's good. And again, I eyeball that. Backstitch. Swivel, 180 degrees. In we go. Stitch forward, backstitch. Backstitch. Chop, chop. In the bin we go. Chop that jump stitch as well. Beautiful. Now if you line up that bottom edge, when we snip in the middle, it'll always work out for you. Like that. That should be pretty straight, see? Took me a very long time to work that out. That's why I'm sharing it with you. These scissors are blunt. Not going to be any good to do those corners. Hello, hello. Welcome. This week is custom orders. I have a few things I'd like to get done today. One of my custom orders is nearly finished. I had to wait for some more vinyl to show up. I'll show it to you in a minute. It is really pretty. So my mate loves pink. Absolutely obsessively loves pink. So I made her a giant custom baby bag in like bright pink glitter vinyl. And I ran out because she wants to get the zipper closure at the top. So I've made the whole bag. I'm going to do the zipper closure and then I'm going to put like a binding in glitter on the top as well. I have plans. And it's everything's done except for that final top bit. So I'm going to hopefully finish that today and then I can give that to her. Yeah. I'm also thinking that I might leave all of my thread in my cart. I do like it there. It's quite handy. Oh, here we go. Oh, that one worked fine. I think it was just, I don't know, me. It was me. I've got the base, I've got the handles. I definitely do not have the back piece in vinyl or the foam. But because I'm going to put the foam all the way into the seams, I can just baste it on, so that's not the end of the world. I am going to stick this because otherwise it's going to be rude. I can already tell. I am back in my room. Hello, everybody. I missed my room, weirdly enough. I like it in here. It makes me happy. The floor's glittery. I want to get a cool green rug for the floor. It will take away some of the echoing that I can hear. I also missed having a kitchen table, like a dining table, because that's where my embroidery machine and the heat press were. It just wasn't working out. I've been speaking with HTV Ront about one of their heat presses that slides out. As much as I love my Viva one that twists, sliding out would then take up less space because you need like a big circle around it to be able to twist it out of the way. And I think I just like a slidey one. I feel like that would be easier. and take up less room. Well, it's not about easier. It would take up less room because I am very limited in my space. So on here, the heat press used to live where the box is. The box is how I take photos. I had it up higher somewhere, but it was quite hard to position the camera and the bag when it was up too high. So it's now going to live down lower. So as soon as I finish a bag, I can go straight there and take the photos before I leave the room. Otherwise, I avoid doing it like the plague. So this was my solution to make me do the things I'm supposed to do. And I think it's going to work because it's like looming right there, yelling at me. Make sure you do it. And whatever gets you through it, right? Whatever works for you is what you should do. I bought the big box to take really good photos because I now need to basically start again with my social media because I got kicked out of my other account, which has been an ongoing fight. I have been shuffled to about 9 different help people, only to be told yesterday that I have to do something else. I filled out all this paperwork to get access to my own account and nobody can help me. I just want to delete the old one. Apparently this is a very big deal. Who knew? I would like the old one gone. I can't access messages. I've deleted half the posts on there anyway. Now, we'll be turning the bag through the pocket, so we are going to leave it open. I'm not doing binding on this. You could, but I'm not going to. Right, fold it back, line up the edges. Other side. Make sure you back stitch or this comes undone when you try to turn it through. Absolutely have played that game before. What just happened to my bobbin thread? Okay. So that's the back. Then we're going to attach the back to here, leaving this top bit because we'll actually attach both at the zipper. This is the fiddly bit, just FYI, for anyone that needs to know. I also don't plan on pinning it. This takes a bit of practice to be able to do this, but it's not impossible. It's literally just a practice thing. Stitch up to, but not over the zipper, because I will stitch all 4 layers together later. And then trim those tails so that they don't annoy us later. And then let's do the other side. It is quite a large backpack. Like the large side is very large. But I like it. Okay. So again, I'm pulling on the back because this fabric is quite thin, even with the interfacing that I put on there. And then we have to get black vinyl and cut a back piece and some foam. And this is what happens when I rush. I did embroider a jack on the outside, and this is color changing vinyl. So in the sunshine, he will go purple because it's just fun. So we're going to fold the base in half, and we're going to find center top and center bottom. I couldn't tell you where I got the embroidery design. I've had it for years and years and years, but I'm sure if you look around, you'll find one. They exist. So what I'm going to do is I'm only going to stitch the back part to the base so that we can turn the bag through the whole thing, because again, way easier. This is my new favorite thing to do. I don't sew the bases on anymore. I just kind of partially sew them. So I've sewn the straight back edge to the back piece, and that way I can turn the bag through the giant gap. Now again, this is also why we tacked both ends of the zipper pull so that it doesn't come undone. Dramas later. Nobody wants to play that. But that's the bottom. Now we just need a back piece. Oh, I didn't put this on. That's going to be a problem. Not a huge one. I'm going to put it here. And I'm just going to have to unpick all of my basting. Kind of annoying. Not even all, just a chunk. So if you cut every second to third stitch, it will unravel itself. See? Look at that. Just big enough to get my hand in. We also want a little gasket for the back, and we want the knife. And I'm going to put it right there. One and two. So this one's got little mini Jack Skellington heads on it because I was feeling very much extra when I was playing with the laser. So this is from the F1 laser that I did that. You can do it on the S1, you've just got to buy the infrared head, but it's much less portable, and I want to take it to markets. Ta-da! Right, now we just need some black vinyl, which I have been going through a lot of black vinyl lately. I should buy shares in this stuff. I'm going to grab this one because it is uneven, and you always want to keep, I like to keep one straight edge and then one edge where I do all of my cutting, because it's much easier to do straps. I know everyone's into strapping stuff at the moment, like webbing strapping, which is fine, but it's just as handy to have a straight edge in case you do ever want to make vinyl handles or vinyl crossbody straps specifically. So I'm going to go sideways like this. Because I think that's what's best. And we're just gonna trace around. I like to do a bit of a sketching line. Trying to draw a solid line never works out very well for me. So I've notched the top and the bottom in the center so I can flip it. If I am going to make a lot of these, I would absolutely make myself templates. I used to have templates, and then they got moldy when it rained in here, so all my wooden templates got thrown in the bin, which sucked. Okay, transfer superstars DTF. Oh, I missed the rest of that. This one. I do love DTF transfers. I've looked into a machine. They're like $8,000. So unfortunately for me, I don't think I'm ever going to get one. I also don't know that I'd use it $8,000 worth, which is my main thing, right? I am happy to invest in things that I will at least use. I was reading something somewhere, and someone said, sometimes when you don't want to cook, you order a pizza to be delivered to your house so that you can have like a break. So in your local area, however much it costs to take, to deliver a pizza, that is equivalent of like 1 hour of joy, right? Because you don't have to cook, you don't have to clean up afterwards, all the things. So in Australia, that's about, I don't know, $30-ish. So basically, you can think of joy as $30 an hour. So when purchasing something, how many hours of joy would you get out of it? And is it worth $30 an hour in relation to how much it is? So if it's $100, or let's say it's $90. If you buy something for $90, you want to make sure you're going to get at least 3 hours joy out of something. And then if you can justify it like that, you buy it. And that's really stayed with me. Because I get a lot of, like, this was second hand, was still $3,500. But I have been able to make definitely enough bags and had enough joy out of it that I think it's worth it. For Christmas one year, I made everybody inappropriate Christmas shirts, and they were the best. You couldn't even buy them because they were just outrageous. So that alone pretty much makes it worth it. I did a lot of shirts that year. I did like 12 or 13 custom ridiculous shirts. This is my very professional way of doing this. We're just going to line it up and then cut around it. So like if you have been trying to justify getting yourself a new heat press or a heat press in general, think of A, how much time it takes you to iron instead, and then think of how much joy it's going to give you to be able to just iron it. Because even if they're $300, that's really only 10 hours of joy. Which if you're an avid bag maker like me, that's like what, a week's worth? A week's worth of ironing makes it worth it. And that's how I justify all the ridiculous things I get myself. For example, the F1 laser. I will absolutely be purchasing it. Currently it's on loan, because they're starting like a loan deal where you can like hire out the second-hand ones. I will absolutely be purchasing it. I put a portion of what I made on the weekend away to purchase it, because that brought me 5 hours of joy at one market. Like, I had so much fun. I don't think you guys understand. I was like a kid at Christmas going, oh my god, what are we doing? People probably thought I was insane. I don't blame them. I was acting a little insane. I was having so much fun. So they're about, what, $2,500. So divide that by 30. Can someone math that for me? That's how many hours of joy I need to get out of a laser to make it worth it. I don't know what that maths is. But if anyone can help me out, I am all ears. Okay. All of my straps. I think I want skinnier rectangles. I know I've got some in black. Ow, that was my finger. I have a lot of hardware. I am working through it all, by the way. So, yeah, see? Skinnier rectangles. They will look just as good, but make the bag slightly less heavy. Because they're just to attach the backpack straps, and they're down the bottom and not really seen. So I want something less heavy. That's literally what's happening there. Alright, so we're going to take the strap, and then the end that we folded, we're going to put it through here, and then stitch it down. Did anyone do that maths for me? 2,500 divided by 30, because I am actually curious right now. Alright, then we're going to go through there, up, down, and that's 1. And this is 2, so that's going to go through there, like so. Voila! Although we also need to make these the same. 83.33, thank you. So how do I make my templates? When I'm making my own templates, so my patterns, I get Brymax to do proper acrylic templates because they're amazing. But if I'm just going to do something kind of off camera and probably not use it heaps, but maybe use it enough, it was a 5 hours at the market, so I've done 5 hours off there. But if I'm gonna do that, right, lost my train of thought now. Templates, right. So I use my laser engraver to make them. When I first started, I got my husband to cut them with a jigsaw, and then he'd like sand the edges to make them perfectly in line for what we needed, which was amazing. So I will be making probably temporary templates with my laser out of either 3mm plyboard or 3mm MDF. They are slightly different. Yes, I believe I am getting templates done somewhere else in America now. I need to double check with them, but that should be fine. Because everybody needs templates. And if you're not big on templates or you don't have the space, I fully understand that. I've got like a curtain rod hanging all of mine with hooks and stuff. So I understand that having a lot of templates takes up a lot of space. But the templates I recommend you get are, if I had to pick 4, that's really hard to only pick 4. I think it'd be these 4. So these come as a set. These are the spacing templates for doing card slots on vinyl wallets. Cannot recommend doing these enough. You could probably make them out of cardboard, but eventually that edge would go a bit gross. I got green ones because I'm childish. But these are for vertical and these are for horizontal cards. I use these every time I make a wench wallet or a coffin wallet or a purse pal or like a whatever. These work for all patterns because cards are the same size. So these measurements are always the same on all bags, like on all wallets. So that's why I recommend those. These come as a set, but even if you couldn't afford the whole set, you should get the whole set. But this is a 1-inch rivet spacing template. So these are for like all handles on a bag to make sure that your rivets and your handles are even. You can I just got the set designed to have 1 and 1.5. So with the 1.5, you get 2 holes and 1 hole. So that's a 1.5-inch strap. There's the center, or you can put 2 rivets. So I really recommend that if you had to buy templates, these I use on every single bag. I'm not even kidding. Any bag that requires a handle gets these templates. But mainly for like shoulder straps, that one. Because you want it to be even. Doesn't matter as much if you're doing just crossbody straps, because there's only 1 strap, so it doesn't need to be even. And the other ruler I recommend is my small 1.25 by 8-inch ruler. This is the width of zipper tape. So making like zipper ends or just anything that needs to touch a zipper. Epic. Use it all the time. Like all the time. I use this ruler more than my other 2. I mean, there's other ones I recommend, but if you could just get those 4 things, they're small, they're easier to manage, and they are epic. I also like that mine's sparkly. You don't have to get them sparkly. They're cheaper if you get them in just plain acrylic, plain clear acrylic. But sometimes that extra like $3 or $4 brings me so much more joy. So there you go. Those would be my recommendations. If you are just getting into the idea of templates, you want the card slot ones, you want the spacing, rivet spacing templates, and the 1.25 by 8-inch ruler. Those are my life recommendations. Because I'm getting sidetracked. But because of this ruler, anytime in a pattern where you have a zipper tab or a zipper end, you can just use this. You can cut multiples at once. You can just measure how much you want it. So when you're doing a zipper end, right? So you've got like a zipper that's hanging free and you don't have zipper end hardware and you need to make it out of this. You can cut 1 1/4 by 1 1/4 square and then fold it over so it's a skinny one. Or you can cut 1 1/4 by 2 1/2 and then fold it in half and it's a perfect square, not a little rectangle. This is also the length that you need to put the Ragabrash end zipper. You can also cut all of the other, like also on Ragabrash, if you don't have that thing, this is what you need. I use this more than all the zipper tab pieces because it's also easy to hold, right? So little zipper tab pieces of acrylic a little and you're more likely to get your finger, whereas I can do this, put my fingers out of the way and off I go. So love that. I actually have a few here I could probably put on my thing. There you go. And the Tory pocket. Oh, so Tory pocket, if you love zipper pockets as much as I do, the Tory pocket template, you can substitute a Tory pocket for literally every bag pattern ever. Every single bag pattern ever, you can do a Tory pocket instead of the pocket they've got. You can fold the fabric over and double its size, or you can like make it half its size. Because the Tory pocket template comes with like a center point, so you can do so much with it. You can even use it to make the other style of templates. You just don't draw the rectangle. Problem solved. Then you get your 2 pieces. It's just a great size. And it fits in like 80% of all handbag patterns. Tory pocket template is amazing. If I had have thought about it, I probably would have got a sparkly one, to be totally honest with you. Like a see-through sparkly one. Like this has got a Tory pocket template, Tory pocket. I don't know. I don't even remember what the original pocket was like because I don't tend to care. I just do a Tory pocket. In everything. So that is the one consistent thing in all of my patterns. They all have Tory pockets and I don't regret it at all. All right, let's sew this bad boy on. I mean, I can do the other style of pockets. It's not out of my realm of capabilities, but it's just, once you pick a style of pocket, and it doesn't even have to be a Tory pocket, it can be any pocket that you do. But once you've picked your style, you just stick to it because it's quicker and easier and everyone's a winner. This is my very professional way to get them even. Don't judge me. Totally works. You can measure all you want. Weird angles are weird angles. Doesn't matter which way I look at it. Right, and then we're just going to bring that. We need the center. See, Vixen, Tory pocket. The pockets on the troll, the back pieces, is a Tory pocket cut in half. I don't know if any of you realise that. But because there's a center point, you just cut a whole Tory pocket and then cut it in half. The things you know. And for anyone that wants to know, if you've got a laser at home, make your own Tory pocket. You don't need to see through that. That's one of the few things that you don't actually need to be able to like see through. So it is 8 by 12. And then from the center point, you go 1/2 inch down and drew 1/2 inch by 6.5 inch window. Same pocket. Works every time. Let's stitch these bad boys on. Oh, I should have put another face there, shouldn't I? Should I do it? Would it be ridiculous to have another Jack Skellington face there? I don't have a bigger file on me though. That's like a whole thing. Although it's on the back and it'll get dirty. What did I miss? What? I really wish they would stay there. I don't know how to make it stay. I did contact the shop at one point. Because they do Vixen. So if anybody wants a Vixen template, which is a very popular pattern, although my Empress has sold quicker than Vixen on the weekend. Just if anybody needs to know that. Nah, I think it's busy enough. It's a very busy. Nah, I'm not adding anything. I was gonna add it, and I was considering it, but now that I've put it up against it, it's busy enough. We don't want to overdo it. Turns out there's such a thing. Right, and then measure up the bottom. I'm sewing it that way up, I'm pretty sure. We're going to use lots of clips because the whole foam is going to fight me like a jerk. I also might put foam on the bottom piece so that the base doesn't sag. Something else to think about. The no, Tory pocket, I've got one, and it hangs next to where I cut stuff. Another one that I made myself, actually, was the NCW card slots, because that also doubles as in other pockets as well. They seemed like they would do any of them, takes a little longer. Well, there you go. Templates are the bomb. So I made myself, and it's just black. You can't see through it, but because it's card slots, nobody cares. But I made myself a black, and it's from the NCW, but I also took that template and I use it in Seductress. I use it in Harridan, because card slots are the size of card slots. Like, you can't really change the measurements all that much. They are what they are. The most you can change is the seam allowance and how much is above and below it. But other than that, they are what they are. So that I made as my own template, and it now works for like several different patterns. Right, so we're going to stitch up and over the top there. Put some of those things away. There's a bit many, even for me. And down we go. Back stitch. Ooh. Did the thread break or did I run out? Oh no, it broke. Of course it did. Looks like a bird's nest. Not cool, man. Not cool. Here we go. Alright, base piece, and again I am going to put foam because I see how the bag will now stand up better because there's foam. I could have also quilted it, but it's the wrong vibe for this bag. And yes, that is a thing. This is my roll of vinyl. I'm actually probably going to have to, I know that it looks like a nearly full roll, but that, making large bags, which I plan on doing, will not let it last very long. So I'm going to need more vinyl. No, vinyl, bag foam. I knew what I meant. Alright, I'm going to stand up and cut around it because it'll be easier. This is why you stand up when you cut. It's easier to maneuver around things. But no, for everyone that's new, templates are absolutely your friend. Oh, and another thing, with these bowls, both the Lord of the Rings and the handmade ones, you can now just send me a message and get custom orders in any colors you want. So yesterday, I sent an order to the person making them for a tealy, turquoisey, acre colored one. So you can now get, especially the handmade bowls, you probably want the ring in gold because it was a gold ring. But the handmade ones, you can now just send me a message and get any color you want. Okay. Now I can just cut off that little extra bit. It wasn't in the way. I mean, it will be now that I'm trying to attach the base, but it wasn't in the way to sew it. And again, you know what? I don't want to. I don't think it'll look good if I quilt it. Quilting looks good in the right bag. I don't think this is the right bag. Like at all. So we're not going to. I have a vision, and the quilting doesn't play into the vision. Today, other times it does, absolutely. I actually plan on quilting an Empress bag and then doing embroidery after I've quilted it. I have plans. Alright, did I find the center of this? Probably not. Yoink. And we're going to cut off the tails that I see both here and here so that they don't interfere with bag making. Is that the bottom? It is the bottom. Love me some chaos. Yes. So it was really fun to move back in here. All the floor had like marks, which was a nightmare. So I decided to get the gurney and try and clean the floor with the gurney. It didn't work, so I ended up having to scrub all the spaces and then try and get all the water out. It was a terrible idea to use the gurney. It also took off some of my glitter. Maybe a bit sad. Only a little bit, because then I stopped using the gurney and hand scrubbed the floor, and then mopped up I had like a squeegee, so I squeegeed it near the door and then mopped it up with some towels. It's like a whole big process, but at least now it's clean. Lots of clips, because this is a nightmare shape. Different people fit these things in differently. I try to have maybe just a little bit of easing so that it gives you a bit of wiggle room. I find that there's a lot more easing in the swoon patterns, unless you alter said patterns, which I have done in the past. For example, I 100% alter the baby bag, because you're meant to do a drop-in lining and I refuse. I hate drop-in linings. Are we out of rainy season now? We are. So my husband has about 6 months to fix the drainage problem. I don't think it won't flood again until maybe next summer, and even then it might not at all. It might just not do it anymore, but I'm not holding my breath on that. But I should be right for the foreseeable few months, like, not foreseeable future, but like the next 6 months. We should be right. The lasers will continue to live inside because there's not enough room out here for them. And the Cricut and the printers and stuff. And all of my packaging of bags will be done inside as well, because this room is tiny. It probably looks really big on camera, but I've had people show up and they're like, oh, it's not as big as it looks. I mean, it's really not. It is quite small. Nearly done. We just keep rotating it around. Okay, and then we can turn it through the base because we didn't do up the base, and it's just easier that way. Crack the zip, grab a corner, push it through. Instead of foam, I could have also used base stabilizer. You could have also done both. Right, through the Tory pocket. Whether you put that on the inside or the outside is irrelevant. Grab the lining, pull it through. Lining I tend to not clip because I can do it by hand. That is a practice thing. You should try it. You should work on it. Pick a bag that you're really good at sewing, and then when you sew the base together, don't add any clips. See how you go. The trick is, right, I'm holding this one floating above it, and then I'm just holding it at the 1/2 inch. So all of that, I don't really know how else to describe it, but all of the gathering happens by itself. Like the easing. There's no other way to describe it. It's definitely a practice thing though. You did it on your last bag. See? And how good is it? Right, and then we shove that in. You can check it to make sure you did it properly, but I'm fairly confident I'm good. Because again, I've done that a lot. And then we just stitch this shut, and then we just got one extra bit. Wait, I missed a bit. Of course I did. Of course I did. One of those. One of those. It's not the end of the world. I can absolutely fix it. Actually, maybe I'll use... I have a big D-ring. It's like a 1-inch one. May as well use it now. Ooh. No, not that one. I forgot a bit. I'm just that clever today, apparently. Scrappy bits. We need scrappy bits. And then we're going to use this because that's a 1-inch. And a pen. So I made these as well. Do I like the containers better than the tool drawers? I absolutely do, actually. I love, so I've got 2 containers per color of hardware, and then 1 container that's got all zips because there's a lot of zips. I love the containers more than the little drawers because you can see it without opening it. I am working through some stuff that I probably won't buy again. So I am slowly working through all of that like extra hardware. But I do love these containers a lot more than the drawers. They're more portable. They are, you can see it. You can grab one. I'm eventually going to pick these off, right? But you can see everything in there without having to open each drawer. You can also see how much you've got. So if you need multiples of something, you can see, like, and when you get low on something, you can be like, cool, let's do an order. So I personally do love them. That is a 12 compartment storage box from Kmart. I think they're like $5.50 for the box. About that. Or maybe less. Might be less. They're not terribly expensive. And because they've got 12 compartments, you can either separate. So I separate the bag feet with the stems, or you can put them all together. But I've got like the top and the bottom of rivets. And then I've got the 2 sizes of grommets, and then I've got press studs, miscellaneous fancy hardware, D-rings, rectangle rings in 1-inch, and strap adjusters in 1-inch. And then the other sizes are in the other box. So I use I have one box which is all my most commonly used stuff, and then I have a second box that has all like the less commonly used stuff, but stuff that I still do need to have. So, for example, when I decided to make all of my strap cell phone wallet things, I bought a whole bunch of 1.5-inch swivel clips. Turns out I should have just stuck with one. So until I work through them all, they do need to have a spot. But once I've worked through all of my 1.5-inch swivel clips, I'm going to just buy one because you can have this little accent instead of the wide one. So I will use them, I'm not going to waste them, but I don't need it to be a forever spot, and then one day I will replace it with something else that I enjoy. So this goes like this and gets sewn on the bag at the end, and then I just need to make a little connector because I forgot. So in this particular case, I'm going to grab the 2-inch ruler so that I can make the 1-inch thing. Now, if I was using the smaller D-rings, I could have grabbed my 1.25-inch ruler because I use 5/8 D-rings. That's the other reason why I love this ruler. See? This is just a random one left over from a packet from forever ago. But I use 5/8 or 15 mil D-rings. And so therefore that other ruler is the perfect size for it. Just all these little things work out in my favor. So I used to have, because patterns always say use a 1-inch D-ring and a 3/4-inch D-ring. D-rings are just to clip these clips on. So you can use any size you want. Just because a pattern tells you to do something, patterns are guides, not rules. I keep telling you all this. So I have decided to only use 15 mil D-rings. I'm using this one now to get rid of it, because again, I'm not throwing it out, that's wasteful, but I don't have two, so it's not like I can put it on any kind of crossbody style anything. So this is the perfect chance to use up this D-ring. I won't order them again, and eventually that miscellaneous section will empty itself as I work through them all. Like, it's fine. Now we're going to do that. And then I'm just going to stitch up and around and down. Get rid of that. Pivot. Generally speaking, you get 4 stitches across for my 1-inch hardware with the strip, stitch length that I have. Now this was supposed to be sewed into the front of the bag. So I'm going to have to unpick things, which we all know I hate doing, but I'm going to do it because it's important and stuff. Otherwise, the bag is looking fabulous though. So it needs to go in here. So I'm just going to grab it, pinch it, and pull that bit through. Unpick like 7 stitches, stitch that bit in, and all my problems will be solved. You don't have to unpick a whole lot of stuff. And by unpick, I really mean use the snips, because I don't have an unpick, and I don't want one. I don't like them. We're not friends. Me and Quick Unpicks, every time I've used one, and I understand it's a me problem, every time I've used one, I have stabbed a hole in the fabric. Every single time. I am not patient enough. So we're going to take this, slot it in the little hole that I created, and then just stitch it back shut. Real simple. Wow, theoretically simple. I also need to just get that, I need to get it out enough to be able to actually stitch it. Sometimes can be a problem, but I won't let it be one. This is just going to look really awkward, and it's my own fault. So you want to stitch, back stitch, go through some of the older stitches. I'm also going to do a zigzag so it doesn't come undone. Crisis averted, ladies and gentlemen. We should now, I really hope I did that right. I'm pretty sure I did. Ta-da! We now have a bit. We're going to push out the base. It's easier to do with your hand in the bag, like so. Chop the tail. Alright, now we'll shut the Tory pocket and then we'll do the final bit and then we're done. And we're good. So, one knuckle deep, pinch, tuck, push. And it just tucks in all the raw edges. There is something that you can do where you actually stitch the edges up. It's too fiddly for me. This fabric is a poly cotton and it's really lightweight and fiddly. But it was pretty, so I needed it anyway. It's not, yeah, it's like a poplin, which is a really lightweight poplin. Okay, done and done. So that is the bag mostly done. We're going to zip that up, and then I'm going to shove all of the bag in, and the zipper came off. I should have known it was going to do that. It's just my luck. You can stitch it on now. It was just easy to do it before, but since it's already come off, I'll just do it again. Sometimes it's trickier doing it now, that's why I didn't want to do it like this, but apparently my back stitching over the zipper was not enough. So annoying. This is why I tried to stitch it on earlier, because doing it now is painful. Not physically, but mentally painful. To get it even. I mean, I can just shove it on, but then it wouldn't be even. And we like even. Ha-ha! Right? Then, we put that seam in line with the zipper, like that. And then we're going to grab this and put it on, like that, and stitch it down. But first, double-sided tape. And some clips to hold that in place, now that I've already done that. We love double-sided tape. This is 3/4 of an inch. Love this size. I have kept many rolls for myself here because they are amazing. It is the double-sided tape that Sandra used to stock. I don't know if she still does. Is Sandra still here? Do you still have this? I have no idea. But I have multiple rolls of it because it's fabulous. Alright, so then we're just going to pop this like so. Now, because I'm on this machine, I'm going to stitch it. The original technically has a different shape here. But this will be fine. So, we are going to start here. Move the tail out of my way. Forward. Back. Forward. Pivot. Down. Move that because I'm going to knock it. We all know I will. Angle. Across. Take the clip off. Angle. And then up. Line those up, and then I'm going to stitch and back stitch in exactly the same spot I started because it makes me happy. we are going to get the thread zapper because that's looking a little bit messy. Love this thing. It's nearly flat. I'm going to have to amp it up again. Say nearly flat. It's not actually flat. It's still fine for now. Just don't touch the other end. And then, a backpack. Is that not so cute? Needs a bit of loving. We're also going to zip them all the way up now, because some people freak out when the zips are like that. So make sure you do that little extra step. Might seem pointless to you, but other people like it. And again, I don't have a zipper tab here. I like the zipper to go all the way up. Personal preference, but how fabulous is that? I love the way it sits, and then if you want to fill it, you can unclip it and it becomes that much bigger. Like, so you get quite a lot of space in the bag, and then if you want less space, you just fold it down and clip it in place. And everyone's a winner. I love it. For packaging purposes, I'm going to put these all the way up so that it'll look neater when it comes out of a box. But otherwise, happy days. And you can usually just fiddle with this to get it to look even. Like that. Ta-da! And then it's got that on the side. And I love that. I love that I did that. So in the sunlight, which I can't show you in here, but in the sunlight, this will go purple. So you'll have a purple Jack Skellington. And then it'll fade off when you go inside, because that's fun. So this was a custom order. I need to take photos and then send it to the customer, and then it's going to America. And then hopefully off camera I'll finish that last bag, and I've got a lot of lasering to do. So I'm going to set up the laser and do that as well. But thank you all for joining me. We've been here for like an hour and a half. I'm going to have a snack and then continue working. So I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you all next time. Bye!